Hi everyone. The FOMC meeting had no surprise, with Jerome Powell's good afternoon as a start. And sure, we got a 25 basis point rate cut, no 50 as a surprise. Overall, the speech was neutral to me. Some of his talk seems hawkish, some of seems dovish. As a result, the stock and the crypto market chopped up and down during the meeting. From my perspective, it was okay overall. However, there is one point that really caught my attention, and I feel very interesting, so I want to share with you guys. So Powell said by the end of 2025, including this 25 basis point, there will be 3 cuts in total. That means there will be 2 more in Q4. Okay, so in the first 9 months of 2025, there were 0 cut. And also the Fed projects only 1 cut for the entire of 2026. But between now and year end, we'll have 2 more cuts. Do you guys see something here? Also in general, Q4 is historically the best quarter of the year for both stocks and crypto. And in my personal opinion, I said this before, I think Q4 could be the final quarter for crypto this cycle, and will be the heart of the Altcoin season. It is just a coincidence. I'm just leaving this as an open question to you guys. What do you think this implies? Alright, that's my quick take on this FOMC meeting. Now let's dive into the short-term technical analysis on those I currently hold, and also a few mainstream names that everyone follows. Let's first talk about the Bitcoin dominance. On the weekly chart, Bitcoin dominance is sitting right above the 100-week moving average. It has been consolidating around the line for about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. So the 100-week MA is acting like a support now. What I'm watching over the next few weeks is whether the Bitcoin dominance breaks below this 100-week MA. If it does, that's an indicator that altcoins will fly. And the next target could be the 200-week MA. And let's switch to the monthly chart. The Bitcoin dominance has broken below the 20-month MA, so the 20-month MA now becomes a resistance. With about 10 days left in September, I want to see if the Bitcoin dominance closes this month below the 20-month MA. If it stays below, the Bitcoin dominance will likely continue to go lower. This is the very first chart I think everyone should watch. It is so important, and it will directly affect whether the altcoin season actually kicks off and whether the ETH can push to a new time high. So that's for Bitcoin dominance. Now let's look at Cardano. In the daily chart, as we have talked last time, ADA dropped back down to this green line 20-day moving average and then got a bounce as expected. Then it is printing 3 strong daily green candles. Now the price is rallied back to the short-term important area. If we draw a line here, we notice that here we had a support. Here was another support. Here we had another one. Here ADA broke below this trend line. Here it became the resistance. And here another resistance. Here is another one. So in short term, ADA has moved back to here. If ADA can break through this trend line, the next area to watch is $1 and $1.15. Because we can also see there were a lot of resistances at the price level. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if it clears $1.15, then my short-term target remains around $2. So that's the ADA's daily chart. Then let's look at the weekly chart. The weekly chart remains similar to what we talked previously. The 20-week and 50-week MAs are still overlapping. What I want to see is ADA pushing above $1.15, then the green line 20-week MA pulling away from the 50-week MA, which is a bullish separation, and with the trend line and with this with the red line 100-week MA curling up. If we get that structure, ADA has a very good chance to break $1.15 and head straight to the $2 area. Okay, so this is for Cardano. Let's look at ETH next. Looking into the daily chart, ETH broke above the 20-day MA, pulled back for 4 days to retest the 20-day MA, and now we had a bounce again. So as long as ETH holds above the 20-day moving average, the short-term trend is still upward. If ETH reaches the previous all-time high, that typically means the altcoin season is about to start. Okay, next let's look at Chainlink. On the weekly chart, let's draw a trend line here. Since 2021, Chainlink has forming a classic cup and handle pattern. Combine that with overall bullish environment, and ETH is trending upward, and also the Bitcoin dominance is trending down, and we have coming rate cuts and likely several ETF approvals in October. Chainlink has a very solid chance to break out of this handle and trend higher. Okay, then let's look at VeChain. I haven't talked about VeChain for a while because it is pretty boring, flat over the years. So actually there was nothing special to talk about instead of consolidation. But now on the daily chart, VET is consolidating inside a triangle, and these 4 main moving averages on my chart are overlapping with each other. What does this mean? If you have watched my previous videos, this has been talked for a few times already, like for the Tesla video. And you should know, no matter it is for a stock or for a crypto, it means it's about to break out. Either it's going to break out to the upside, or it is going to break out to the downside. And so if we see VeChain is now approaching to the upper trend line, if it does break out, I expect at least a significant move up, similar to AVAX a couple days ago. So since we mentioned AVAX, let's just look at it next. AVAX had its 4 MAs relatively tight as well a couple days ago, then broke the range and ran from about like $23 to $33, roughly 40% rally. So if VeChain follows a similar pattern, it could see a comparable or even larger percentage move, because VeChain's total market cap is much smaller than AVAX. Alright, so let's look at other names. Algorand. Algorand is also consolidating inside a triangle on the daily chart, with all 4 MAs stacked very tight. So it should be approaching a decision point very soon. Break up or break down. Also for NEAR, I shared this on X earlier. NEAR had those 4 MAs almost perfectly overlapping, very similar to VeChain. It has already started to break out. If you map a path similar to AVAX 40% pop, then the next target lines up around $3.60, which also matched a trendline resistance I drew before. If I just do this, you can see that. Okay, so Immutable. I also post about Immutable on X. So if you want to know the real-time information, don't forget to follow my X account. Although I don't hold Immutable, I always keep an eye on it, and also for NEAR. They are on my watch list. So for Immutable, the 4 MAs compressed, the 20-day MA turned up, and Immutable has been rallied about like 58% in a week. If you are into Web3 gaming, or you know Immutable very well, you can watch it and maybe start to invest into it. Immutable is one of the Web3 gaming leaders, and we can see it is way below its previous all-time high. Okay, so let's talk about SUI a bit. I don't follow SUI as closely as others, but on the daily chart, it's above the key MAs and looks like it wants to move to the upside very soon. All right, then Let's talk about XRP a little bit. I don't love to cover XRP and Solana in a specific altcoin season because they have been exceptionally strong this cycle with heavily VC and institution backing. Their behavior often diverged from the broader altcoin market. So that being said, both of them cannot present the current situation of the entire altcoin market. So I don't want to talk about them a lot. They are just not atypical ones. But because some folks want to hear my idea on them, I think both of them can keep pushing higher. But how far they can go, it is too hard to predict for me. They just simply purely depends on those VCs and institutions. The same, Solana has a very higher chance to continue uptrend. Okay, that's for XRP and Solana. If there are other mainstream coins you want me to cover, drop a comment. If it is a project I don't follow and I don't have a conviction on, I may skip it. I'd rather not to give you low confidence takes. But for the coins I do know, I'm happy to share my personal opinions. That's all I want to cover in today's video. Keep in mind, we have still got about 10 days left in September. Remember, this is only day 2 after FOMC meeting. September is known as a volatile month. If we pump, that's the best scenario. But if we dump, I'm also fine. So the bigger trend still looks bullish to me. So what we should do is simply hold what we have with patience and wait to see ETH to break the prior highs and let it trigger the altcoin market. Also, October is right around the corner, and I'm optimistic we are going to start to see the results many of us has been waiting for. So stay patient, stay calm, and let the market choose its direction. That's it for today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.